So again, welcome to Library Yoga. My name is Chelsea, for those of you who maybe haven't practiced before. Today we'll be moving through a yoga flow that will be targeting the shoulders and the back body, which often gets really tight when we're sitting at our desks all day, working on our research, our studies, or our work, hunching over our computer. So we're going to try to open everything up today and reconnect with our bodies a little bit, because often when we're working really hard, we're studying really hard, it's really easy to get caught up in our headspace. We're going to try to reconnect to the body. We're going to sit tall, either on the floor or on a chair, whatever feels best to you. We'll lift up through the crown of the head, and if it feels comfortable, we'll gently close our eyes or just lower our gaze down to the floor to check in and notice how we're feeling. So take a moment to observe how you feel physically, maybe noticing if there are any areas of tension or tightness that maybe you've managed to tune out so far today. Go ahead and make any adjustments to make yourself a little more comfortable before bringing your attention to your breath. Notice how your breath is moving. If it's fast or slow, if it's deep or shallow. There's no need to change anything. We're just observing here, checking in with our body. And then gradually, from your breath, bring your attention to how your mind is moving. Notice if your thoughts are racing around, what directions they might be going in. And again, there's no need to change anything here, just observe. And notice how you feel as a whole, your body, your breath, and your mind. And then gradually bring your attention back to your breath. We'll start to deepen those inhales and exhales, directing the breath down into the belly, making a nice deep inhale, expanding the belly. And maybe exhaling with a sigh, letting it all go. We'll do two more just like that. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhale with a sigh. One more time, inhale. And exhale. We'll slowly open the eyes and we'll get moving today. So there are a couple of options for these next few poses. You can do them seated on the floor or you can do them seated in a chair. So this is something you can take with you through the rest of the day too when you're working at your desk. We'll start with an inhale by lifting that left arm up nice and high. We'll take that right hand down beside us on the floor or holding onto the seat of your chair. Inhale, we'll reach up nice and tall. And exhale, we'll arc over to the side, trying to keep the chest rotating open up towards the ceiling. There might be a tendency to start collapsing down a little bit here, but we really want to try to open up the chest, lift it up nice and high. And you might notice you can't tip over quite as far to the side if this is the case, and that's totally fine. We're just looking to keep ourselves nice and bright and open here. We'll take one more inhale. And on the exhale, we'll come on up. We'll cross that left hand across to the right knee. So this can be done seated cross-legged. It can also be seated on your heels if that's not comfortable, or seated in a chair. Bringing that left hand across, and we'll take that right hand behind us, just the fingertips behind us, either on the floor or on the seat of the chair. With an inhale, sit up nice and tall, and exhale, we'll twist gently towards the right, taking the gaze back towards the right shoulder. Now you want to feel like you're leading the twist here with your core, with your belly button here, so you're not using your arms to crank yourself around in a twist. This is all mindful movement. You want to move with your body. Notice how it's feeling. Don't push it beyond its limits. Take one more nice deep breath in here. And then on the exhale, we'll hold the twist, but gently take the chin to the front and bow it down gently towards that left shoulder. You might feel this behind the right shoulder blade, the back right side of the neck. I know personally I carry a lot of tension there, so I really feel this stretch, but it's a great one to do. We'll take one more inhale, and exhale will unwind, and just pause for a moment. Notice how you feel. Again, we're connecting with the body. And then we'll go ahead and do the other side. So with an inhale, we'll reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. Bring those left fingers either to the floor or maybe the seat of your chair. And exhale, we'll arc over to the side. Again, consciously trying to rotate up through the chest. If this means easing off a little bit, it means easing off a little bit. The key is to listen to your body here. And notice how your breath is moving. Is your breath becoming a little strained here? If that's the case, maybe ease off. Balance, finding that middle point between effort and ease. Take one more inhale, and exhale, we'll come on up and we'll cross that right hand across to the left leg, bringing those left fingers behind us on the floor or on the seat of your chair. With an inhale, sit up nice and tall, reach up through the crown of the head, and exhale, leading from the core, leading from the belly button. We'll twist towards the left, taking the gaze towards the left shoulder. And you might not be able to turn your head all that way around. And again, that's totally fine. The goal is to listen to your body and how the pose feels for you. It might look a little bit different for everybody, but that doesn't matter. We're all experiencing it in a similar way, and that's really the goal. We'll take a nice deep breath in here. And then on the exhale, hold the twist, but take the chin to the front and gently bow it down towards that left shoulder. You might feel that stretch now behind the back left side of the neck, behind the left shoulder blade. We'll take one more deep breath in here. And exhale, we'll unwind and bring it back to center. Awesome. Now, if you're on the floor, we'll move through a cat-cow sequence. And I'll show you a variation if you prefer to stay in your chair and not make your way down to the floor. So to get started, if you're on the floor, we'll come to a tabletop position here. Your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. With an inhale, sway your belly down towards the ground. Take the chest and the chin forwards and up. And exhale, round it back, pressing down through your hands, tucking your chin towards your chest. So inhale, you sway it forwards, and exhale, you round it back. If you're seated in a chair, you can do this too, and I love doing this to break up my day a little bit. With your hands on your legs, you can inhale, lift your chest, take your shoulders back, lift your gaze, and exhale, round it back. You can maybe slide your hands forwards towards your knees. Inhale, opening it up, and exhale, rounding it back. So two options there. I'll join everyone back on the floor myself. We'll take maybe two more rounds wherever you are. Inhaling, taking it forwards, and exhaling, taking it back. One more time. Inhale, forwards, and exhale it back. Awesome. We'll come to a nice neutral position, either in tabletop or seated. And now we're going to open up the backs of the shoulders a little bit more with something that's called thread the needle. So we can do this on the floor, or there's a seated variation as well. From the floor, with an inhale, you'll lift that left arm up towards the ceiling, and exhale, thread it through that needle, bringing your shoulder down to the floor and your left ear down to the floor. And the goal here is to try to open your chest up towards the ceiling. It's very similar if you are remaining seated. If you extend your left arm out to the side, cross it over your chest, pick it with your right arm. Think about drawing your shoulders back so you're not rounding forwards here. Getting that nice stretch through the back of the shoulder, across the arm. Again, from the floor, from tabletop, you reach that left arm up, thread it through, bringing your shoulder and your left ear towards the floor. Wherever you are, take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, we'll unwind so you can bring yourself up off the floor, open that left arm up one more time and bring it on down. Maybe if you're seated, extend that arm out to the side for that counter stretch, reaching that hand back, and then we'll work on the other side. So again, the option is yours. You can do this from the floor or seated in a chair. It's nice to break up the day, so you can always use this later on this afternoon as well. With an inhale now, we'll reach that right arm either up towards the ceiling or out to the side if you're seated. And exhale, we'll thread it through the needle, bringing the shoulder and the ear towards the floor, or crossing that arm across, hooking it with the left arm, and thinking about taking the shoulders back. So again, move within your own range of motion, your own comfort level. Listen to your body here, tune in, notice what your breath is doing. Ease off if you have to. Take one more inhale, and on the exhale, we'll unwind, maybe lifting that arm back up to the ceiling, or maybe extending it out to the side, reaching it back a little bit, and making our way back to our nice neutral position. Awesome, so we've been waking up the upper body quite a bit. We're gonna wake up the lower body a little now. So again, there are two variations here. If you're in tabletop position, we're going to pick that right knee up off the floor. I'll turn this way so you can see. Now some big circles with the knee here. So we're engaging the core to hold ourselves steady, and we're loosening up that hip joint. You can change directions. If you're seated, I'll ask to make our way up to standing, and you can hold on to your chair or whatever piece of furniture is near you, maybe a wall, and you can just start to draw some circles with the knee from standing. So this is also a great test for your balance if you just want to try it out standing. But often when we're seated in our chairs, we'll go ahead and switch sides. So you can pick up the other knee if you're in tabletop, or if you're standing, we'll just switch. Often the hips can get really tight when you're sitting at your desk all day, sitting in your chairs, switch directions. This is a really great way of loosening things up. We'll take one more circle and we'll make our way back to a nice neutral position. From here, again, two variations. If you're on the floor, we'll take our hands a little bit further in front of us, just in front of the shoulders, to come into our one and only downward dog today. So you can pick your knees up. Keep your knees bent to start. Lift your hips up and back, maybe pedaling out the feet a little bit, stretching into the backs of the legs. But mostly, think about really lengthening your spine, stretching it out nice and long. If you're working with a chair today, you can hold on to the back of the chair or place your hands on the seat of the chair. Reach your hips back, press your hands down firmly, and lengthen your spine out nice and long. So you're still getting that action, stretching out through the spine. This is something you can take with you to whatever workspace you're in. You can use your chair either from the top of the chair, the seat, and lengthen it back. It's a really great stretch to add into the day. Wherever you are, downward dog or that stretch, take one more deep breath in and exhale. We'll fold it forward so you can walk your feet forwards from downward dog, or if your hands are on a chair, you can lower them down to come into a forward fold with nice bent knees. So again, we're not straining anything here. You can hold on to opposite elbows, just loosening up the back body, letting go of tension, the upper back, the shoulders. You can gently shake the head, a little yes, and a little no. Just allowing it all to get nice and loose. Take one deep breath into your back body. Feel your back ribs expand on the inhale. And on the exhale, gently release your hands and we'll roll up nice and slow. One vertebra at a time, rolling the shoulders back before the head lifts. To all come up to standing. Awesome job. From here, we can take a few shoulder rolls, loosen up the shoulders a little more, both directions. And then from a nice, stable standing posture, so maybe if it feels good to you, your feet can be together. If it feels better, you can take them hip distance or slightly wider apart. We'll roll the shoulders back and clasp the hands behind the body. So you can have your hands nice and loose here. They don't need to be totally tight together. Depends on the flexibility through your wrists, your shoulders, it's whatever feels good to you here. And from this nice posture, opening up the chest, this might already feel like quite a stretch across the chest. Maybe you can start to lift your hands away from your body here. And there's no goal, there's no trying to get it as far as it can possibly go. It really doesn't matter, again, what this pose looks like. It matters what it feels like. So connect with your body, check in. How does it feel as you open up through the chest here? Take a nice deep breath in, feel your chest expand. And on the exhale, bring the hands back down. This time, draw the knuckles down towards the ground. Feel that opening up across the tops of your shoulders, a bit of a different place this time. Notice how it feels. And then gently release. You can shake out the arms a little bit. And we'll come into a standing side stretch. So taking a little bit deeper than the seated posture we did before. With an inhale, we'll reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, grab a hold of the left wrist and arc over towards one side. Same thing here, we want to keep that chest open, so rotate the chest open up towards the ceiling. And if you notice you start collapsing down, maybe you need to ease off of that side stretch a little bit so you can maintain that openness. The whole goal of today's practice is maintaining that openness that we sometimes lose when we're working and hunching over our desks. If you want to take this a little bit further, you can step those left toes behind the right foot. So you're extending that side stretch a little more down the left side. Wherever you are, take one more inhale. And exhale, we'll come on up, circle the arms around and down. Great. Now we'll do the other side. With an inhale, we'll reach the arms up. Exhale, grab a hold of the right wrist this time and arc over towards the left. Again, try to keep the chest open here. Notice how your core is engaged. Nobody expects this to be a bit of an ab workout, but it totally is. Maybe step those right toes behind your left, extending that stretch a little deeper through the side. Take one more inhale, and exhale, come on up, circle those arms around and down. Nice. All right. We're going to make our way through a little bit of a flow here to get ourselves moving, syncing up our movement with our breath. It can be very relaxing, especially in the middle of a busy day. It can be relaxing and energizing at the same time in that unique way that I find yoga often is. So if you're practicing with a mat today, we'll come towards one end of the mat. And if you're not practicing with a mat today, just ensure you have a little bit of open space behind you. We're going to be using this stretch of space. We'll start with the feet nice and firmly planted in the ground, that nice stable posture. With an inhale, we'll reach the arms all the way up. And exhale, bending the knees as much as you need to, we'll fold it forwards. With an inhale, we're going to lift up halfway. Hands to the shins, maybe to the thighs, lengthening the spine out, parallel to the floor. Then we'll exhale, folding it forwards. We'll step the left foot behind us here to come into a high lunge. So this will also be dependent upon what clothes you're wearing today. But when you feel steady with an inhale, we'll come on up, trying to keep that right knee right on top of the right ankle. So we're not lunging really far forwards with the knee here. It's not wobbling out to either side. We're just trying to hold it in front of us. And if this is very challenging, you can always step that back foot in a little bit more. You can lessen the bend in that knee, whatever you need to be doing here to feel comfortable in this position. With an inhale, we'll reach our arms up. And exhale, we're going to take our elbows down in a nice cactus shape. So exhale, take them down. Inhale, we'll reach up. And exhale, we'll circle the arms down and spin so that we're facing, if we're on a mat, that long edge of the mat with our toes pointing forwards. From here, maybe you want to circle the hips a little bit. We'll circle and open them up a little more. Switch directions. And then we'll continue the journey and spin to face the other side. So we'll spin those left toes forwards, spin those right toes forwards. And again, we're going to come into that lunging position. So Again, move through your own personal range of motion. Check in with your body here. How are you feeling? With an inhale, reach those arms up. And exhale, draw those elbows down. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, we're gonna fold it forwards to step that right foot to meet the left. Inhale, lifting up halfway. We're moving through that sequence in the opposite order. Exhale, we'll fold. And inhale, sweep the arms forward. We'll come all the way up. Exhale, circle those arms around and down. Awesome. We're gonna make our way back to where we started with maybe a little addition tossed in there. With an inhale, we'll reach up nice and high. And exhale, we'll fold, bending the knees as much as we need to here. Inhale, we'll lift up halfway, lengthening the spine. And exhale. This time, we'll take that right foot back to come into that nice high lunge position. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, take the elbows down. Inhale, we'll reach up. And exhale, we'll spin to come into this wide-legged posture again. From here, you can take your hands to your hips, lift your chest, and bending the knees as much as you need to, we're going to fold it forwards from here, bringing the hands to the ground. If this feels okay, we'll take that left hand to center and inhale, open that right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring it down. We'll switch. Inhale, bring that left arm up. And exhale, take it down. We'll slowly roll our way back up in our wide-legged posture here. And now, clasping the hands behind the back in the same way that we did before. I'll turn so you can see a little bit better. From this wide-legged position, we'll open up the chest, reach the arms away from our back, and folding forwards, we'll continue to reach the hands up and away, stretching out the upper back, the shoulders, opening it all up. And again, there's no need to be forcing anything here. For some people, this may just look like this. The hands may be right next to the back body, and this is totally fine. For others, the arms may come way overhead. The goal here is to try to keep your shoulders away from your ears, reaching your hands up and away, and not forcing anything that doesn't feel right to you. We'll slowly release the hands, roll our way up. Awesome. I'll join you back where we were. We'll spin those right toes forwards. Spin those left toes. We're coming back to that high lunge on the other side. Inhale, taking it up. Exhale, drawing the elbows down. Inhale, we'll reach it back up. And exhale, we'll step that left foot forwards and fold our way down. Inhale, lifting up halfway, parallel to the floor. Exhale, folding it down. Inhale, sweep the arms forwards, come all the way up. And exhale, circle the arms around and down. Awesome, that was great. I'm so glad you were able to join for that. I love doing a bit of a flow in the middle of the day, changing things out, moving the body in a way that it's not necessarily used to in the middle of the day. Now, before we make our way totally down to the ground, I know we only have a few minutes left in our session today. I'd like everyone to stand. You can stand either with your feet hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. We're going to reach our arms out to the side here, nice and long. Really reach with your fingers. Take a nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, we're going to bring the arms across, taking the right arm underneath the left. And you can give yourself a great big hug, maybe holding onto the backs of your shoulders, checking in with yourself, noticing how you're feeling here. And then from here, we're just going to round forwards with the upper body as you try to keep your elbows up and away. So you'll start to feel a bit of a stretch through your upper back here. If you're familiar and you've practiced yoga before, you can always adjust. You can bring your forearms up to touch, or maybe wrap your hands around together for eagle arms here. And again, reaching the elbows up and away, you can round it forwards, getting a bit of a deeper stretch through the upper back body and the shoulders. Wherever you are, take one more deep breath in. And on the exhale, we'll come on up, we'll unwind. Inhale, reach the arms out. And exhale, we'll take that left arm underneath this time. Give ourselves a great big hug. Take a nice deep breath in. Remember to reach those elbows up and away and round it forwards with the upper body. Again, if you're familiar with eagle pose and eagle arms, you can flip your forearms up to touch, maybe wrapping your hands around. You can round it forwards here. Take one more deep breath in and exhale, come on up. We'll unwind. Inhale, extend one more time, feel like a star. And exhale, lower it down. Awesome. We'll make our way back towards seated now. So you can be seated either in a chair or on the floor, whatever feels best to you. We'll just gently make our way down. And we'll do just a gentle forward fold here just to loosen the back body and breathe into it a little bit more before we close today. So if you're seated on the floor, I encourage you to keep your knees super bent. The goal for this pose here isn't stretching out the hamstrings or the legs. We really want to relax the upper body. So from this position, you can inhale, reach up, and exhale, gently drape your body forwards over your legs. If you're seated in a chair, we can do the same thing, extending our legs a little bit in front of us. Just be careful if you're on a rolly chair. I've done that before, where you start extending your legs and folding forwards and the chair wants to go out away from you. A little challenging. Inhale, you'll reach up, and exhale, you can gently drape your body down over your legs, maybe holding onto opposite elbows underneath your legs. Again, whatever feels best for you here. I'm going to return to the floor. I like changing things up and not being in a chair all day when I don't have to be. But it's a great little stretch to toss in during your day. We'll take a nice deep breath in, folding forwards. And when you're down in your forward fold, consciously breathe into your back body. Feel those back ribs expand on the inhale and sink down on the exhale. We'll take one more inhale. And then exhale, wherever you are, we'll gently roll our way up into a nice seated position. And we're going to close in a seated position today. So as we did at the start, sit up nice and tall, gently close your eyes or lower your gaze, and take a moment to check in. Notice how your body feels. Notice how your breath is moving. Notice how your mind is moving. And notice how you feel as a whole, your body, your breath, and your mind. Now that you've taken this time to reconnect with yourself, move away from that autopilot we can sometimes get into, especially when things are busy. We'll take a nice deep breath in, bring our hands to center. And exhale, gently bow our chins forward, stretching out the back of the neck, but also acknowledging our gratitude, the time we've given ourselves. Open our eyes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am absolutely thrilled that you were able to join.